Again, I'm fresh off work, dirty hands, whole shebang. Let me turn this fan down. Today, I was kind of listening to podcasts and just driving around and shit and just thinking, pondering or whatever. People come to me for advice a lot, and it took me a while to realize that I'm one of the people. I know a lot of people like this, but I'm one of the people that they know, I'm analytical about stuff. I overthink about stuff. So if they ask me a question, they know it's been thought about 72 times before it gets answered. So with that being said, the topic of this video would be advice for young men. Advice for young, black, white, whatever. It don't matter. Whatever. It don't matter. This is a this is one of those things where it don't matter the race, right? So this is what I wanted to say. Again, this is for everybody. If I were to give you advice, right, and if I were to go back to my early 20s, let's say I was 20 again, right, before 21, and I were to want some advice, right, or I wanted somebody to say something to me that can change my life or change the trajectory of my life, I would say, and I thought long and hard about this, you guys. I know it sounds cliche, right? And I don't know if anybody said this before in the YouTube streets or if this has been discussed before. I hope not. Hopefully I'm adding things to the discussion. But I would, if you asked me to give you advice, for young men out there, I would tell you to be curious. Be curious. Here's what I mean when I say that, right? I mean, okay, let me give you an example, right? Before I had my son, there's 1,000 of these examples, but I'm gonna give you one that I think will resonate best with you, right? So before I had my son, when my wife was pregnant with my son, right? What I do is I'm with customers a lot throughout the day. That's what I do Monday through Friday, right? I'm with customers. As I said in a previous video, I'm an electric vehicle mechanic, right? So anyway, so I'm talking to customers a lot. One of the things that I've learned in the past few years, I'm 36, right? So maybe when I was 33, 32, I learned this, not when I was 20. I learned to ask questions like, because I see these big houses, right? I'm seeing people having money, you know what I mean? And families are happy, seemingly, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I've learned to ask, well, what do you do for a living, right? And there's nothing wrong with asking that. And so if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living, right? And if they don't want to tell you that, they're going to lie to you, or they'll be like, nah, I don't want to talk about it, right? But they'll tell you yo, I trade stocks. I'm a day trader, or I buy and sell homes, or I do Airbnb, or I do, just today, a dude was telling me, I was working on his car, and he was telling me, he was like, I'm Airbnb-ing a home in Hawaii or something like that. And we kind of discussed his strategy on creating his stockpile, right? Because right now it's not a time to be spending a whole lot of money. Let's be real, right? So, that kind of shit, right? He's stockpiling his money. He's not investing as aggressively. He's doing more, he's investing, but he's also saving, right, into a high yield savings account. He's doing things to make sure that he has more liquid cash, and he's investing, the way that he should. He's not doing a whole bunch of investing into companies that he has, that he may or may not fully, agree with. He's doing more blue chip type shit. Blue chip meaning, I'm not a financial advisor, by the way, but he's investing in the blue chip stocks that Pepsi, shit like that, shit that's gonna be here, right? So he's investing in shit like that. So boom, there you go. So I'm talking to him, right? And he's kind of giving me the rundown on how he does Airbnb, right? From all the way in California, in Hawaii. You get what I'm saying? And so I learned some of the game today on how to do that because I was curious. So to bring that back to the original statement is, I would advise you guys to, if I could go back, if you're listening and you're 20, bro, be curious. Keep it a buck. If you're listening and you're 20 and you're a woman, be curious. Like, I don't like the mansplain and shit on here and tell women what they need to do, but I think anybody should be curious, right? And the reason I say that is because you'll learn to ask questions that would benefit, you know what I mean, would benefit, like, you learn to ask questions that the information that you get could benefit you. You get what I mean? You learn to get comfortable asking those questions. Some of us are not comfortable asking people questions, and that's a problem. That's how the majority of the older generation learn, and we're not learning, right? What happened to the village storyteller? What happened to him? What happened to her, right? So be curious. To go back to my example, right? My wife was pregnant with my son. I learned about day trading from a customer. While my son, he's born there. Adam, he came, whatever. He was born. Boom. Now you're at home on paternity leave, right? And so I am helping. We're taking care of our son, and we're raising our son, and we're learning about all this, like, the schedules of breastfeeding, yada yada. It's our first kid, right? But the good news is I made a lot of money day trading. And the reason why I did make a lot of money day trading was because I talked to this customer, and he lit a fire under my ass about day trading and finances and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? So my point is to stay curious. If I didn't ask him what he did, if I didn't have a full-blown discussion with him, I would have never learned about day trading, right? I would have never learned about day trading. When you're on YouTube, type shit in that you're interested in. Don't just look at funny shit on videos. Now, if you don't want to learn shit, this might not be the channel for you. If you don't want to learn shit and get better, and if you're not interested in becoming a better person or a more functioning member of society, or somebody that has a little bit more to offer to society, then I don't know if you want to watch the channel, really. But I'm gonna just keep it real with you. You probably don't. But to go back, bro, be curious. Sis, be curious. Period. Yeah, whatever you're interested in. I'm interested in anything finances, marketing, any kind of businesses you can create by yourself. I inquire about it. I will question you about your mobile detailing business. That's not something necessarily that I want to, you know what I mean, create, but that's what it is. I'm interested in ownership. I'm interested in general, home ownership, all that, right? If anybody has questions that I can answer, I try my best to answer them. This is why I made a YouTube channel. But this is me hoping you're curious like me and giving you whatever information that I might have. Whatever you find valuable, take from this, for sure. But stay curious. Ask questions. You see an old guy pull up in a nice car or whatever, have a conversation with them. Somebody comes into your store, you're working at the store, right? And whatever store, retail store, whatever it could, whatever it is. And they look like they're in a place financially that you'd like to be. Ask questions, talk to them. Anywhere. Because in reality, that network that you're creating is how you get to where you need to get. I'm on LinkedIn. I've had people add me on, like I connect with people on LinkedIn with huge fault. Like, they got a bunch of people that they've connected to on LinkedIn, right? And I ask questions. I inbox people. I ask them, what do you guys look for in a potential employee? What are the type of things you like, that you guys look for? And they'll give you a list. And now you know what you need to know to possibly apply to that company, right? But if not, you at least know trends in certain markets, right? Ask questions. I see people confused. I'm 36. I see people my age confused about ChatGPT. go online, go to Google, type in ChatGPT, find the URL, go to ChatGPT, use it and see what it does. Right? Stay curious. And when I say stay curious, you guys, young men, young women, younger men, younger women, because I'm young my damn self. That doesn't mean, when I say that does not mean ask questions and then don't act on them. You know what I mean? Don't be that person. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Like, if you want to learn about something, learn about it and get active. Be active and stay active. Like, if you want to go somewhere financially in life, stay active. I learned about high yield savings account from a customer a long time ago. So when I had that discussion with the customer today about how he saves his money, I already knew what that was. In fact, I have a high yield savings account. Boom. Right? These are things that I use to help put my family in position. So I'm constantly asking questions. I don't care about how much the car was that you bought or where you bought your clothes from and shit like that. I want to know how you accrued the money to buy the shit that you have. I can care less about what you have. What you have is an indication that I need to ask you questions about how you got it, right? So to answer that question, like, what would I tell somebody, a young man or a young woman, and what would I tell myself if I can go back and tell myself something in my early 20s? I would say, dang, bro, stay curious. And if you aren't curious, get curious. And if you are, be more curious. You know what I mean? And that's all. I'm going to holler at you, man.